keeps daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
That was Donald Trump calling for the arrest of California Governor Gavin Newsom, saying, quote, "I would do it," when asked if Border Czar Tom Homan should arrest the governor. This move comes in the aftermath of this exchange with Tom Homan.
You've also mentioned Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom, and there have been threats, previously that if you stand in the way of your enforcement operations, you could be subject potentially to arrest. Are you saying that about Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom? Are they at risk of being arrested?
I'll say it about anybody. You cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien. It's a felony to impede law enforcement from doing their job.
And that was followed by this rebuke by Gavin Newsom.
Tom Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his work. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Let your hands off these poor people who are just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear, the horror, the hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
And finally, here's Homan's reaction to Newsom's challenge.
When he asked the questions, that include Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom, I was clear. They haven't crossed the line, but they're not above the law either. If they commit a crime, they certainly will ask for prosecution. That's what was happening. I never threatened to arrest Governor Newsom, so I'm not biting off on that. It's just that report is dishonest. And let him play the whole 20-minute interview, and you'll see a whole different discussion that we had.
If you thought that Trump wouldn't go full autocrat, or that if he does, he would move slowly, you can now disabuse yourself of that notion. Trump and his administration have zero qualms about presenting themselves as outright authoritarians and doing whatever they can to perpetuate that reality. And of course, because this is the kind of leadership atop the GOP, Trump's little minions below him now have their cue to do the same. Senator Tommy Tuberville, for example, took to Twitter writing, "Gavin Newsom has failed to do his job. LA looks like a third world country. Anarchists are in charge. Law enforcement is being attacked, and the rule of law is non-existent. Lock him up." Which is so weird because while Donald Trump was being prosecuted for his legitimate crimes, all of these Republicans were having fainting spells over the weaponization of government. And yet, now that Trump is in office, they're back to demanding that their political opponents rot in prison. But then I guess it's my fault for thinking that any of these people actually have any sincerely held beliefs or long-standing principles, as opposed to the reality, which is that they have constantly shifting values that align with whatever's most politically convenient at any given moment in time. This signals a dangerous escalation by Trump and Republicans, wherein not only are they calling for the arrest of their political opponents, but they're actually doing it. We have seen this happen to members of Congress, to judges, to staffers. I discussed this issue with Mark Elias here. We've now seen the mayor of Newark, we've seen this judge out in Wisconsin, we've seen Representative McIver, and now this congressional aide in Jerry Nadler's office all suffer at the hands of a Trump administration that's decided to wield their power against these folks. And so what is the ultimate goal here by this administration in exercising their power in the way that they are?
Yeah, so I want to point out that in each and every one of those instances, it has been the Department of Justice or the Department of Homeland Security, the Trump administration, exercising this extraordinary power in something involving immigration, right? Like, for all of the rhetoric that the administration came into office about how they were going after the worst of the worst and they were going to lock up the criminals and all of that. So far, what they've managed to do is target a whole bunch of Democratic officials and Democratic judges and Democratic staff. Yeah. And so what it tells me is that if you want to understand what Donald Trump's administration is about, you have to understand it is about the use of the federal government's power to go after Donald Trump's opponents and his political enemies. And that is what I think we are seeing. There is no chance that we would see the Department of Justice arrest a Republican judge or a Republican member of Congress. How do we know that? Because they are actually pardoning Republican members of Congress
in the case of Corey Mills, they have prosecutors that won't even sign they won't even sign documents that would allow the prosecution to proceed.
Yeah. We saw the wholesale pardoning of January 6th insurrection. So this is, just very, very clear to me that we cannot get lost in the details of what did this judge do with this courtroom and what did this member of Congress do here and what did this staffer do here, because that's the game the Trump administration wants us to play. They want us to reduce this to the individual facts and say, well, the mayor probably shouldn't have been where he was, but after all, we dismissed the charges, and the staffer probably shouldn't have been where she was, but we, dropped that, and the judge was wrong, and blah, 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 blah. What we need to do is recognize what's really going on here, which is just the use and abuse of the power of the federal government, which is an awesome power. This is taxpayer, funded, limitless resources to intimidate people who Donald Trump doesn't want standing in his way, and to send a message, frankly, to the rest of us, to me, to Brian, to you, to everyone watching here, that you better watch your step, or else that power can come for you too.
The truth is that this isn't just a threat coming out of this administration, it is a reality. Trump's unconstitutional power grab is upon us. We're already there. We're not approaching a constitutional crisis, we're in one. So here's my message to anyone left, right, and center who values democracy. You gain nothing by working with Donald Trump. You will give him goodwill, and it will buy you nothing. There will be zero reciprocation. He is not a partner in democracy. He is not looking to govern in accordance with the best will of Americans. He is a budding autocrat who views any dissent whatsoever as an affront to his total power. That's his priority. He does not feel bound by the law or the Constitution or checks to his power, and no one in his party has enough of a spine to actually speak out against him. Meaning the only way out is for us, those who actually care about democracy, to fight back, to speak out, to protest, to sue, to organize, to build our coalitions, to inform and educate. Everyone has to be involved. Everybody has to do their part. Donald Trump is signaling what he will do. We should believe him. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.